Welcome, everybody, to the Orange Catholic Foundation Business and Ethics Series. My name is Rand Sperry. I'm CEO of Sperry Equities and Sperry Commercial Global Affiliates, located here in Orange County. And I have with me as my co-host, Randy Redwitz, CEO of Redwitz and Company and various other companies under the umbrella. And we'd like to welcome Lucy Dunn, who is the president and CEO of Orange County Business Council, and she leads a dynamic organization of business members working with academia and government to ensure the county's economic prosperity and high quality of life. So basically, she helps bring business, I think, into Orange County, if I had to guess, which is so important. And I've known Lucy for quite a while. She has many accolades to her name and lots of recognition, and we'd be timed out of the podcast if I mentioned all those. She's been very successful. By chance, I did know, Lucy, that you are an attorney.
Yes.
As well, I never knew that, and I'm looking at your bio. That's really that's great, though. I mean, it's good to have that business and law background. That my dad preached that to me. He said, if you need to get the law degree to give you the background for everything else. But unfortunately, I didn't do that. But I know it's a great combination. And I'm sure you've got a lot to say today. And you might have to sing for us, too. I understand you are a singer.
The world's oldest cantor.
So, two awesome things I didn't know about you. We better get started here. We do have a time limit. So, Orange County, what makes Orange County a unique place to live and work, in your opinion?
Where do you begin? The first thing I would refer you to is if you go on our website at ocbc.org, there's a study we do annually called the Orange County Community Indicators Report. And it is everything you want to know about Orange County in very easy reading. But the unique things about Orange County, kind of dispelling the myths of Orange County, because unfortunately, sometimes everything we know, we find in those stupid TV shows like VOC and the OC Housewives. And that's just so not us, right? Yeah. Orange County is a minority majority. No ethnic group dominates, which is surprising because everyone keeps thinking we're all white, rich, and living on a beach, right? But the reality of the situation is that our Latin community will be the dominant ethnicity probably in the next 5-10 years or so. But right now, we are such an amazing amalgamation of different ethnic groups. And the beauty of this is that the generations that are here, the folks that are here, they tend to stay connected to their home countries, which makes us a global hotspot. Yep. So there's a reason why companies stay connected here and like to work here, because we connect globally. And today's marketplace, of course, as you know, extends well beyond a county's reach to a global marketplace where we have to be good global citizens. So other unique things, we're the toll road capital of the state of California,
Yeah.
And we're the homeowner association capital of the United Nations. We're also the face of the United States. We're also the face of what the United States is going to look like with our demographics. One other interesting thing, folks think of us as the bedroom community of Los Angeles, which is pretty much how we started, right? But today, more people commute from LA to work here than the other way around. And actually more people commute in from Inland Empire and San Diego as well. We are a jobs magnet. And that makes LA my bedroom community, if you want to think about that, right? Our density is second only to San Francisco, the number of people living here per square mile. And yet, this is what metropolitan living looks like, right? and every good metropolitan area has a cathedral. Yay,
Yeah.
we have a cathedral.
Right.
So those are just some of the hints, but I would commend you to go to the Community Indicators Report. I think every high school student should read it cover to cover to learn about the place they live. And every business leader needs to read it as market information and competitive advantage information to uniquely see why this is such a great place to live, work, and play.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Don't we also have a very substantial Vietnamese community, one of the largest, maybe? I thought I'd heard that statistic at one time or another.
I think we're the largest Vietnamese community outside of Vietnam. I mean, seriously, and wonderful small business owners, very in tune with education and how important that is for economic growth and workforce development. And so, yeah, it is true.
Well, and we're also the birthplace of the Disney parks, right?
Yes, indeed.
True indeed.
You know,
I just made that up, but yeah.
Oh, no.
You're right, though.
But we are, right?
Original
But
Disney.
we are. This is where the whole Disney empire began back in 1956 with the placement of the Disneyland, right? And ever since then, of course, that's a global company, and the hospitality industry, visitor serving industry is huge for us. In fact, today, well, let's put it pre-pandemic, right? Pre-COVID, Disney was our largest employer in Orange County and the largest single site employer in the state of California. And so when our hospitality industry is down, that impacts so many segments of our economy in Orange County, but also the state as a whole. Yeah.
Lucy, what's our biggest challenge right now, aside from pandemic? Obviously, pandemic and the leisure industry, the recreational travel industry has seriously impacted restaurants, obviously. But aside from that, generally, what is Orange County striving to overcome, I guess?
You know, I wouldn't even put this as Orange County per se. I would think about this from a national perspective.
Okay.
Our biggest challenge isn't COVID. It isn't the economy. It isn't China. Our biggest challenge is trust.
Okay.
Think about that for a minute. When 20% of Americans don't believe that the federal government will do the right thing most of the time, 84% of our Americans say our politicians have too much power and influence in our economy. I think that's the big problem right now, is trying to develop trust in an overarching way. And businesses have, in many respects, become like the fourth branch of government. We're being asked to solve problems that government has failed to solve for us. And interestingly enough, nothing like a good pandemic to show systemic flaws, right? Nothing like a good pandemic. So we've seen business step up and do things that they've never done before, including managing Zoom meetings,
right.
Making commuting very different, right, to businesses, leading in health protocols. When we were getting mixed messages from politicians on health, it was the business community, and I dare say it was folks like Disney that stood up early and often to talk about health protocols, following our business leaders in health industry, all of our hospitals. And even with great pride, I say early on, before anyone started talking about masks and distancing, OCBC stood up strongly and said, good health is good business. And folks trusted that information to be truthful and absent politics and absent elections. And so I would really urge us to make sure that we are in business communicating truthfully and often and directly. Because I think folks are relying on us more than you might think to get away from the noise.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting.
That's a great answer, and one I wouldn't have suspected
Exactly.
you would have made. So
exactly.
it's thinking outside the box there on really what needs to change.
Yeah.
Now, if you could wave a magic wand, what one change would you like to see in Orange County?
If I could wave a magic wand,
you're princess for the day.
I'm princess for the day. Well, you know, one of the hardest things, I really think, for example, one of the things that's unique about Orange County, we don't have a downtown, right? We have 34 cities and every mayor is the king or queen of their own fiefdom. But I think it's a competitive advantage because it requires our cities to work together, to collaborate. We don't have a Mayor Garcetti directing our political agenda for our county. We have to collaborate and we have to work in a business-like fashion to get stuff done. But our performance metrics compared with our surrounding counties show how amazing that has worked, right? When we are recovering, and this is historically, we tend as Orange County to recover faster. Our industry sectors, we learned our lesson well when we were just reliant on aerospace. Today, our industry sectors are diverse. And no one industry sector dominates. That makes us very healthful if a sector's down, like hospitality and tourism. Healthcare's up, business services are doing well, et cetera, right? And so it tends to make our economy really strong. The one thing that if I could wave a magic wand, I would love to disconnect us from the LA media market and have our own media market here to tell our story. Because too many folks think that Orange County is the place that you drive through between San Diego and LA. When the reality is, we're actually the capital of Southern California.
Oh.
Think about that. Our economy is stronger. Our diversity is stronger. Our economics, the job magnet factor, we're strong. And actually we have to kind of help our surrounding counties. So you'll see OCBC, we partner with the Inland Empire issues. We partner with our LA chambers because their economies might affect ours if we don't, all ships don't rise, right? So my magic wand would be, how can we elevate the profile of Orange County with a strong media market to get us the attention we well deserve for the innovation that is right here, but sometimes is a best kept secret.
Yeah. Dang, that's a good answer. I love it. I wasn't expecting that.
You gotta come play with me, boys. Yeah. Come play with OCBC.
I'm in.
It's such an interesting dynamic to think of the individuality and yet the togetherness of what you just described. Getting that unified picture, but still having a lot of individuality in all of the various cities within Orange County. You know, I catch myself even at times in describing where our firm is located, where I'm living, as saying, well, we're halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Oh, boy.
And that's terrible. I mean, it's
terrible.
It's a terrible commentary, but
if you now market yourself, oh, well, we're in the capital of Southern California.
There you go.
Where's that?
Kind of, you got to viral it with me, Randy.
Okay.
Then it'll explain it.
I tend to tell people that, I'm basically in Newport Beach. I literally step out the door, go about 50 feet, we're in Newport Beach, but we're technically in Irvine. But when I'm in other parts of the country, people tend to know Newport Beach, though, for some reason. I don't know if it's the Orange County housewives or what, but Newport Beach has a reputation, maybe because people like to come here for the summers.
Right.
But
right.
Outside of that, it is hard to tell them, where we are. In fact, the other thing I say is I'm near Disneyland.
Right. That's what you say.
That actually, and then people go, oh, okay. Although one time, and I was in Maui talking to a food server, and she was from, I don't know where she was from. You know, she's a transplant from the mainland, and she said, well, where are you from? I said, well, Orange County. She looked at me like, I don't know where the heck that is, California. And I said, you know where Disneyland is? And she goes, well, where's Disneyland?
Oh, no.
I go, wait a minute. The only person I ever met that did not know where Disneyland is. So
that was an anomaly. Even when I was walking the streets of Copenhagen on vacation once, and some resident turned to me and said, so where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from Orange County, California. Oh, the OC, the OC.
Oh,
and then they asked me, they said, and do you have your own 6-shooter? Do you carry around a gun? I go, what? TV shows, right?
My family's from Chicago, and my cousin's wives all watched Housewives of Orange County. I don't think I've ever seen it, but just a couple clips. But anyway, yeah, I think we're known for a few things, aren't we? That we maybe shouldn't be known for.
It's true.
I think another landmark, well within Orange County, is the airport. Actually, I mean, people do recognize, particularly the attachment to John Wayne. You know, and that whole correlation was a good move because it made a very popular and recognizable element within Orange County.
And it's again, talk about an innovative airport. It's one of those unique. First of all, it absolutely caters to the business community, as you know.
Yeah.
And it's one of the top functioning airports in the nation. But one of the things that I learned that I really love about it, some airports assign airlines to certain gates, and so the airline owns the gate. Not John Wayne. In order to get those planes in and out efficiently, those gates are open to who's available. I mean, obviously there's a system in place, but an airline doesn't own a gate. And so it tends to make it far more efficient. Now, we're always sensitive about, surrounded by homes. This is an airport in the middle of a community. So we have those also unique shutdown rules that at 10 o'clock, we got to turn off our airport. But even so, even with those constraints that the FAA will not allow any other airport in the United States to be subject to, we're still able to run an amazingly efficient pro-business airport of significance. So really good comment, Randy. That's a really important point.
It's actually 11 o'clock. I can vouch for it. That's when I shut the airport down.
Well, there you go. It's supposed to be like 10 o'clock, but okay. Let's let you get a good night's sleep in.
Yeah.
Lucy, what following along this theme of recognition, what is it in Orange County that people don't know about? I mean, that people should know about, but don't know about?
Well, that every major tech company has an office here, that we are trying to grow those high-paying jobs. It's a high-cost place to live, and it's going to stay that way for some time. We have great universities training kids for a global 21st century economy, well-trained. Cal State Fullerton, Chapman, Concordia, UCI, outstanding universities from and community college system. They're already housed here. Mm-hmm. And we need to keep them here because housing is a problem. It's the #1 issue that the business community complains about is there is not enough housing for the demand that we have. And the rules of the state of California make the construction of housing incredibly hard and incredibly expensive to do. Everyone supports climate change goals. We know we need to deal with a clean environment and fight climate change. But the state's climate change goals are directly hurting the state's housing goals. Mm-hmm. And somebody really smart needs to sit down and go, how do we connect these two things so that we can make climate change work and build enough housing for our growing population and our young people. Orange County, we're aging, and the largest age cohort is going to be 65 plus. That's not a healthy economy. Right. We need young people and young families paying into our systems. Right. The retired community doesn't fund those parks and municipal services and public safety. We need a growing community everywhere. So that's the downside of a great place to live, where people, once you're here, you don't want to leave. So we have to think differently about housing and about making changing the nature of retail. I mean, watch this, right? Pandemic, we all learned to order online. Right. And so maybe those old strip malls need to be reconfigured for some retail, some experiential that attract young people, and housing. So lots of great things. And if there's any place that can do that innovation, it's Orange County. But we have issues just like every great metropolitan area does. And the number one issue, how do we house and keep our young people? Last point, I challenge our companies out there. They're already here. You gotta intern them, and you gotta, if you can't find an internship for them, mentor them. Please reach out to your universities and attract those students to come to you. You'll be surprised at the quality that you get.
Well, Randy and I are doing our part. I can tell you both personally and business-wise with, I have 6 children, Randy has 5, and I think we're all 11 are here in Orange County, awesome. I believe in business. And I know Randy has a mentoring program, and we do here a Sperry Commercial as well.
Fabulous.
For young people. So
that's fabulous.
And
Thank you.
It's great suggestion. I suggest every entrepreneur and every company should have a mentoring program if they don't, and even take on, in fact, I have one of my son-in-laws is in the clothing industry now, and I'm going to take 2 high school students on Friday, because they're off at school, over there to meet with him so he could tell them how he got where he has gotten successfully. He's now in a 30,000 foot building doing clothing apparel. And I mean, they're all excited to meet him and to talk to him. And so even our young entrepreneurs should be mentoring the future entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So really good suggestion. I got one more question and then we'll call it a day here.
Sure.
And I should have asked this question 35 years ago. Nah. That is, if I wanted to open a business today in Orange County, what advice would you give me?
Oh my goodness. I think that's the hardest question that you can make. I would say, I mean, the practical stuff is develop a good relationship with your bank. If you're a small business, there's great resources with SBA, the Small Business Administration. Both the feds and the state are throwing money at us right now. So take the opportunities. But the practical side of opening a business, you can find that online easy enough. The not so practical side is encourage those small business owners and new business folks to connect with the business community in Orange County. Folks tend to be very supportive of each other here. We want to network. We want you to succeed. And you'll find a lot of great leaders, you gentlemen for 2 perfect example, that lead by example. I think there's a tendency among young entrepreneurs and the tech sector, and I say this with great affection, to be low emotional IQ and not connect with the community in which they're trying to grow. They single focus, and that's good. I mean, you got to do that. But if you don't pay attention to what's happening around you, it's going to affect your bottom line. So staying engaged in your community, understanding and supporting, issues that are important to you in your community, that housing project that needs some support, that road that needs to get built or repaired. I mean, fundamental stuff. If we don't have good infrastructure, water, sewer, good air quality, we can't move people or goods.
Yeah.
So remembering those other things that are outside as you're just trying to start up inside. And if you're moving here, where the higher quality, slightly lower cost alternative to Silicon Valley, please, all you Silicon Valley people, come to Orange County. We have open doors and plenty of office space for you.
I love it. I love the pitch. Well, that's very good.
Lucy, I could also make comment that businesses like Rand and I, in promoting community activity within our firms, is both very supportive for our own cultures, but also supportive to the community too. And businesses that are not necessarily newly established, but more mature businesses can foster that community attitude by an active participation there too.
So. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually met Randy when I was on the board of Santa Margarita Catholic High School.
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
That was like in 1996. So,
right.
When I joined that, and getting involved in the community as a business owner is brilliant. It's so smart, and like, some people do have tunnel vision and they're very focused, and that's good. But giving back and getting to know the business community is really part of it.
Super important.
It's been fun too. We've been doing it a long time.
The fancy word for it is corporate social responsibility, right?
Oh,
those are the fancy words. But the reality is, it's we all have we've all done pretty well, and this community has given us a lot of good living, and this is called giving back, and helping that next generation thrive as you have thrived. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lucy, I want to thank you for being on.
Thank you very much.
It was a great conversation, and I've learned a lot about Orange County in the last 30 minutes. So thank you very much. So for all of you out there, we also want to mention the fact that the Business and Ethics Conference is coming April 16th. It's going to be virtual online. And I think it goes from about 9 a.m. to 10:30. And so please participate and watch that. So thank you again, Lucy. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.